with Season 2 being well underway, with my frigate, The Last Word, being leveled completely up, and with me seeing more and more level 15 frigates out there in the wild by the day, I believe that it is time for old Captain Cash to start making builds on the channel again. Now, I do know that I'm probably gonna be a little late to the party with this. I'm sure that there were plenty channels that immediately started doing frigate builds, but I did want to spend a little bit more time with my ship and with my builds to make sure I'm putting something together that's worth you trying out yourself. And we got really lucky because my build is featuring the Naga's Call, and yeah, we're doing a lot of combustion today featuring these guns. But yeah, we got lucky with the event having these weapons available, so not only was I able to experiment it to make it a little bit better, you're gonna have the weapon available and you should be able to put it onto your ship right away. Now, if you are watching this video outside of the Moonshine Larceny event that's currently going on, Summer 2025, I apologize to you because there is a chance that you do not have the Naga's Call explosive culverins that we're going to be using today. So I do want to apologize to you right now. Jump into the chat. Maybe you'll get lucky and we may have a couple lying around. Now here is the Last Word, my frigate, and according to the new in-game description, it is a large ship with unmatched defenses. It radiates a powerful aura that fortifies allies. More on that in a second. The ship type is tank, and it comes with a perk called Grit. You gain a stack of grit when you take damage. Each stack of grit increases armor by 40 up to a maximum of 10 stacks. Each stack of grit lasts 15 seconds. Any ship that is not also a large ship within 200 meters will take 10% reduced damage, and if you have full 10 stacks of grit, they also get another reduction, which will be 20% instead. If you level your ship up to upgrade level 6 of 7, you gain an additional perk called Resolve. At 10 stacks of grit, taking damage grants you Resolve. Now, Resolve will restore 10% brace strength on activation and decreases status effect damage by 20% and increases threat generation by 100% for 10 seconds. Now, I like this Grit perk because it reminds me of the Bark. With our Bark, the support ship, when it's around, it passively heals other ships that are around it. The more Barks we have in an encounter, the more passive healing we get. So the same idea should work with the frigate. The more frigates we have around, the better our defensive reduction is going to be. Now, I'm not sure if we can just pile up a line of frigates and just give the ships around us like 100% or more damage reduction. I'm pretty sure there's a cap on it somewhere or another, but again, the more that we have out there, the better it is for you, especially if you stay within range, so keep that in mind. Now we're going to start with armor, but I'll be honest with you, go with what you like in this situation. I'm going with the Buccaneer's Oath because it gives me the free damage increase, and this is a DPS focused build, so that works with it. I also love that you get free armor also with that, 25% as well. So yeah, it works really good with what I'm going for. If you don't want to do that, you can do things like Ouroboros or the Black Prince. This will give you a damage reduction of 40% when whole health is down to 33%. This thing has 128,000 health. That's 42,000 health that you once you get to 33%. So it's a decent amount that you'll be able to defend, and it is 40% harder for you to go through on top of any food or anything that you eat. If you want to go the opposite way, so making yourself tougher to hit when you're weak, you can just make yourself stronger when you're healthy and use the Nocturne Heart. You just get a free damage increase at 15% as long as you're over 75% health. If you stay healthy in the fight, and that's something that you particularly are good at, it's a good way to give yourself a nice free damage increase. Moving on to Furniture Worm's Breath Churner. As I mentioned earlier, we are doing an explosive build with the Naga's Call, and this is perfect because it is increasing our secondary damage of explosive weapons by 20%, and we're just getting free explosive weapon damage boost by 5%. Triggering Shell Shock, though, will also increase the reload time of the target, and you're going to be triggering that a lot in this build. Breachlock Furnace is next, and again we're getting another increase of secondary damage dealt up to 20%. But this is dependent on how close you are to the target. So the closer you are, the more damage you're doing, which is cool because the Naga's Call increases its damage with each and every shot. So this is just a free way to increase the damage you're going to be doing. There's a small increase to the charge rate of the shell shock effect that you get with this furniture as well. And every time a ship actually takes on enough combustion, they explode with shell shock. So we're going to get a little bit of a boost to that too. The ammo priming bench is next. It's a current piece of furniture that's out with this event, and it is mainly for siege weapons, but it also has a nice boost to repair weapons that we're taking advantage of. We get a 7% bonus to our personal health. You'll see us healing ourselves quite a bit, but anytime we repair someone from more than 160 meters away, they get a boost too. The fusing station and the ramrod workshop are getting a little bit of play here. That way we can decrease the reload time of all of our weapons at every position and increase the secondary damage of all of those weapons just a small bit as well. But then we're going to top it off with a culverin works and increase the secondary damage of all of our culverins by 19%, giving this ship well over a 60% increase to its secondary damage. Now, with my Naga's Call, I went all in. I went explosive or amplified explosive at every single position except for on the stern. We went with long guns, but do what you like back there. I have combustion in my first slots for both of my broadsides. I went with swift on the bow because, you know, it is the front weapon. I do want my culverins to shoot, you know, a little bit more accurate, and since I have 6 of them, I want them to be as straight as possible, and that 10% boost to the projectile speed does help out with that. Now, like I said not long ago, we have long guns on the stern. In fact, I'm using the Skurlock Long 9s. They come with piercing 3, which increases your weak point damage by 100%. And I've rolled double lethal, which also increases the weak point damage. So yeah, I'm just going for just really big weak point hits if a ship does happen to go behind me. First slot, yet again, I'm using swift so I can get that projectile speed increase, make my shots a little bit straighter. Now, the big thing that I am liking on this ship is the double auxiliary slot. And while there are plenty of really good auxiliary weapons that you can use for DPS and that I could use to, you know, make things even more explosive with this build, I have gone with a repair mortar. I like the repair mortar on the frigate because the repair mortar does a large amount of burst healing, and since we get 2 auxiliary shots, you can burst heal yourself 2 times. With the standard level 2 repair kit, you get 16,000 health out of one of these. Out of the repair mortar, I can heal myself for 14,000 health per shot. I've gone with service, which will increase the repair amount, takes it from just under 14,000 to over 14,000 healing. I've also got restorative. That means that anytime I heal myself and I have any severe damage, I'll be able to repair a small amount of that. And I've gone with long arm because hits that land at 70% of the maximum range or further will heal that target for 57% or more. Remember that I added in the ammo priming bench. If you're over 160 meters away from you, you also get another 18%. So if I go full Monty on you, you can get to 25,000 health from this repair mortar. I hit you with 2 of these. If you're in a frigate, you are looking sweet again. If you're in a medium-sized ship, well, yeah, you're back at full health, probably from the first shot. May not even need that second one. And it works supremely well. Far better than I thought it was gonna, and I have to give a shout out to Chester P for that because he was the one who introduced us to the repair mortars. I love the little grace. I love that you can put out 2 little graces with this ship, but I'm telling you, just being able to burst heal yourself on the move, you may want to try that out. Now, as you may have noticed, we are not using any sort of defensive furniture, no stamina building furniture, nothing to help with our brace strength. We're just going to rely on resolve and let it take care of helping out our ship defensively. Now, of course, we do have our repair mortar, so we have a way to fix any damage that we take, but we're going largely just for DPS with this build. We'll get to, you know, more fortifying type builds later, but for now, since the sandbox feels a lot less aggressive than it did in Season 1, I'm okay with just moving around without any defensive furniture, at least for the time being. Now, when it comes to using this build, as I stated earlier, you want to be aggressively attacking sails, because this thing is just really, really good at disabling ships. You start up high, that means you don't even have to be close to ships, because you can hit sails from pretty far away with this. But you start up high, and then once they get disabled, you start attacking the hull, and then they go from not being able to move to not being able to shoot at you, because, you know, shell shock will lock them down for about 5 seconds, keep them from attacking you. And then because of the Worm's Breath Churner, they have a decrease to their reload time for 20 seconds. So it all works out in your favor, and it also helps other captains that are around you. When it comes to shooting the culverins though, my biggest tip for this ship is to use the enhanced zoom. Think about playing any first-person shooter that you've played out there. If you're zoomed in, you know, holding your left trigger, if you're on console, you know how when you're sniping someone in like COD or Battlefield or whatever, and how you can click in the thumbstick to enhance the zoom, you can do the same thing in Skull and Bones, allowing you to zoom in a little bit more and have more accurate shots. This is what I'm talking about. Use that while you're shooting or firing off the culverins, because I don't know about you, I find myself shooting a lot more shots over the top of the deck than I really want to. So I started, as you've seen in the video, just zooming in, aiming at the hull to make sure everything hits. When you're aiming at the sails, honestly, that's just super easy. You have a hard time missing most sails in this game, and so you don't have to worry about it there, just mainly when you're attacking the hull. So now when it comes to doing the builds for Project Frigate here, we're going to stick with culverins for a little bit. We're going to try to go through all of our status effects and see what works the best with the frigate when it comes to culverins, because right now, I don't know about you, that's what I want to use. Yes, I do know, like I mentioned earlier, that we do have a few torpedo builds that are excelling out there. And I'm sure that with all of the countless bombards that we have in the game, there are also some really, really good bombard builds. Hell, my Sam Book build that I did last season, that thing is absolutely a monster for this Woven Hull plunder. So again, you know, we already have things out there that are pretty good. But yeah, for now, I just want to focus on culverins. I just want to focus on volume and see what we can do with builds that are kind of focused in that area. But I believe that is going to do it, Captain. We have wrapped this one up. Again, we should be live this Saturday. Sorry for not being available to you all. Last Saturday, internet won the day. But we will be live, and we will see you in the seas. Take it easy, Captain.